Now, ghosting truly is a mysterious and puzzling phenomenon that has become increasingly common in our fast-paced, technologically driven world. It refers to the act of suddenly and unexpectedly ending all communication with someone without providing any explanation or reason. This behavior has caused heartache, confusion for many people, leaving them feeling hurt and rejected. And if you go on YouTube, you'll find plenty of videos talking about how to avoid or prevent ghosting, how to stop ghosting, or what to do if you've been victim of ghosting. But pretty much none of the mainstream relationship channels actually delves deeper, asking the fundamental question: why the hell do we ghost? And should we even stop? In this episode, we delve into the hidden psychology behind ghosting, exploring the various factors that influence this behavior. And before you click off, just because you think ghosting is nothing more than a low-life behavior of cowardly men, or that you do it because you want to spare yourself the crazy women, know that nothing is actually as simple as it seems. A study published in a journal Computers in Human Behavior found that ghosting is more prevalent among younger generations, with 60% of participants being between the ages of 18 and 34, reporting having experienced ghosting. The same study also found that men were far more likely to ghost than women. And honestly, this comes as no surprise. Another study published in a journal of social and personal relationships explored the psychological effects of ghosting and found that those who have been ghosted reported feelings of confusion, frustration, and emotional pain. These negative emotions were particularly severe for those who had strong attachment to the person who ghosted them. But there are a lot more studies like these. Overall research suggests that ghosting is a widespread and emotionally damaging behavior in the world of dating and relationships. While the reasons for ghosting can vary, it is clear that this behavior has a significant impact on those who experience it. That being said, once we uncover the complex emotions and motivations that drive us to ghost, we can objectively decide whether it is truly a harmful or harmless but greatly exaggerated act. Exaggerated by those whose ego was hurt in the process. When it comes to the psychology of ghosting, it can generally be linked to a number of theories and ideas in the field. One such theory is the attachment theory, which states that our experiences of intimacy and attachment with others shape our behaviors in relationships. Those who have a secure attachment style tend to be more open and responsive to others, whereas those with an insecure attachment style are far more likely to be withdrawn from relationships when they feel threatened. This can help to explain why some may engage in ghosting behavior as a way to avoid intimacy and the potential for rejection. And I know this may seem absurd. Why would anybody ghost anyone after a single date? I mean, that's essentially like judging an entire season or more of a show on Netflix based on a single episode. And whereas when it comes to entertainment, be it books, music, poetry, art, movies, or TV, we all know that sometimes time is exactly what is needed. Picasso may seem cheap and rubbish, but spend an hour going through his work and putting it in a perspective with the time that he spent and the time when it was created, and you may actually find yourself being weirdly attracted to it. The same goes for TV shows and movies. Another theory that is relevant to ghosting is the social exchange theory, which suggests that all relationships are based on a balance of cost and benefits. When the costs of a relationship outweigh the benefits, a person may choose to disengage from a relationship. This can help to explain why some may choose to ghost another person, as they may feel that the relationship is not actually providing them with enough benefits to justify the costs of maintaining it. Now, when it comes to the reasons why ghosting might not be such a bad thing, is that it saves us from having difficult conversations. We all know how hard it can be to end the relationship or to tell someone that we're no longer interested in being their friends. When we ghost, we are essentially avoiding the confrontation and the pain that comes with it. This allows us to avoid the awkwardness and discomfort that comes with these difficult conversations. Is it cowardly? That is up to you. Another reason why ghosting might not be so bad is that it can provide a sense of closure. When we are ghosted, we are left to wonder what went wrong, and this can lead to feelings of confusion, hurt, and uncertainty. However, when we are the ones who initiate ghosting, we can take control of the situation and provide a sense of closure. This can help us to move on from the relationship and focus on our own well-being. I mean, at this stage of a relationship, you're far more likely to not actually know the other person that much. Not as much as yourself. Now, ghosting can also protect our mental health. Relationships can be emotionally draining and toxic, and sometimes we need to step away from these negative relationships in order to protect our mental health. When we ghost, we are able to escape these harmful relationships without having to endure the pain of a formal breakup. This allows us to prioritize our own well-being and avoid the stress and anxiety that come from toxic relationships. Lastly, ghosting can allow us to preserve our own privacy. In our modern world, privacy has become a scarce commodity, and it is important to protect it at all costs. When we ghost, we are able to avoid the scrutiny and judgment of others and preserve our privacy. This allows us to make decisions about our lives without having to answer to anybody else. In conclusion, while ghosting can be seen as cruel and insensitive behavior, these are certain psychological reasons that support the idea that maybe we should not stop ghosting. By avoiding difficult conversations, providing closure, protecting our mental health, and preserving our privacy, ghosting can be seen as a necessary tool for self-care and self-preservation. While ghosting should not be used as a primary mode of communication, it is important to acknowledge that it can serve a purpose in our lives and that it should not be completely dismissed as a negative behavior. All that being said, most often than not, the impact of ghosting on the victim can be severe and long-lasting. In addition, ghosting can also trigger feelings of rejection, anger, and frustration, which can make it difficult for the victim to trust others in the future. For you, as a ghoster, that means that more people you ghost, more likely you are to come across these kind of people. Now, if I was to draw a conclusion, I'd say that generally speaking, ghosting is not a good idea in relationships or intimate interactions. It is a harmful behavior that could have long-lasting effects on the ghoster and the ghosted. It is not a kind and respectful way to handle the end of a relationship or to address a problem in a relationship. Ghosting can cause feelings of abandonment, low self-esteem, and even depression in a person who has been ghosted. Research has shown that ghosting can have lasting impact on the individual's mental health and well-being. I mean, one study I could mention is by Dr. Lisa Argyle, a clinical psychologist, who found that ghosting can lead to a sense of rejection, low self-esteem, and depression. The study found that when a person is ghosted, they often feel as though they are not good enough and are left with a sense of emptiness. Ghosting is also harmful to the person who is doing the ghosting. By not facing the problem in a relationship or by not having the courage to end the relationship in a respectful manner, the ghoster may be suppressing their emotions and avoiding dealing with the root of the problem. This can lead to feelings of guilt, shame, and even depression. In addition, ghosting goes against the fundamental principles of psychology. According to humanistic psychology, individuals have a need for connection and relationships. When we ghost, we are depriving someone of their need for connection and relationship, which can lead to a sense of loneliness and a feeling of being unloved. It is important to have the courage to face the problems in any relationship, not just the intimate ones, and to communicate openly and respectfully when ending a relationship. By doing so, we can avoid causing harm to others and ourselves and promote healthy and fulfilling relationships. And to be honest, guys, if you ghost, the more people you ghost, the more people you are leaving damaged for yourselves and others. Not to mention the fact that not having courage to actually face up to a woman to end the relationship in a proper way, you're being a bit of a pussy. All right, until next time, bye.